Have you ever watched a movie about a zombie apocalypse and thought to yourself, yeah, I'd survive that? I definitely would not be one of those flailing, ravenous, bloody-mouthed corpses running around cannibalizing innocent, good-willed men, women, and children. But deep down, you know you'd probably make a mistake that would cost you your life. In this video on Nerd Explains, I'll tell you why you wouldn't survive a Train to Busan. Train to Busan is about a zombie outbreak in South Korea where the survivors are lucky enough to be on a departing train as a station is overrun, but unlucky enough that a few zombies manage to make it aboard, as well as a few complete scumbags. Let's take a look at the specific situations and decisions that would get you killed. When you hear about a minor leak in a biotech laboratory, you should know from watching movies and playing games, it's bad news. The first red flag is free, but what comes after is on you. Texting and driving. I haven't even reviewed that many movies, and already in most of them, somebody dies in a car accident before realizing an apocalypse is even going on. I know it was a deer in this movie, but you get my point. Busan has a population density of 12,000 people per square mile. That's roughly the same as Philadelphia. Why does Philadelphia matter? Well, that's where Brad Pitt first encountered the zombie outbreak in World War Z. Philly was not a great place to be in when that went down, so I expect similar results in Busan. The point is, if you live in a large city when something like this goes down, you're dead. I also have to mention that having children in the apocalypse severely limits your chances of survival. Train security sucks and is completely unaware of a bloody psycho woman with bites all over her stumbling onto the train. A lot of people give this woman shit for jumping onto the train, and yeah, it's a bitch move, but it's also relatable. If you got bit but escaped, and you know the zombies are going to rip your guts out and painfully ravage your body, of course you'd flee to a safe area that just so happens to have non-infected people. And even when you know you're infected and you know you're going to be dead, survival instincts will make you do this. So the odds of an infected person fleeing towards you is pretty high. The train leaving right before zombies start tackling and biting the train security is a bit lucky. A 5-minute delay on that train, and you better know someone with a grenade handy. The zombie woman is clearly acting and looking like a zombie walking down the center aisle. If you saw that and did not immediately get up and make exit plans, you deserve to be zombified. If you see a bloody, bitten, convulsing person on the ground and you go to help them, you're probably genuinely a good person. But like Douglas and Bird Box said, there's the assholes and the dead. Turning your back on said bloody, bitten, strange, convulsing person, generally speaking, this is never a good idea. Always keep them in front of you so you can react to whatever they do. Restating the previous point, a zombie woman is clearly acting and looking like a zombie walking down the center aisle. She is biting another woman and making clear zombie sounds. If you saw that and did not immediately get up and make exit plans, you deserve to be zombified. Humans typically have 3 reactions to life and death situations: fight, flight, and freeze. Pick the wrong one at the wrong time and it's game over. Completely freezing up in front of a zombie ripping apart another human 2 feet from you is the wrong one. While it's not really freezing per se, but when you see people run for their lives and you just stand there trying to see what they're running from, that's also probably the wrong reaction. Again, this woman could have escaped, but she froze. This guy stood there for almost an entire minute watching zombies rip people apart. Just stood there. Run, you idiot. Also, going to the bathroom at the wrong time. Talk about getting caught with your pants down. Not closing doors and locking them with zombies chasing you. You're carrying a child. You're slow. The zombies can run faster than you and catch up to you. Their weakness is doors. Use the doors, man. See what I was saying earlier? You're infected, you're a total goner, and you open the doors trying to flee to safety by running towards the uninfected. The guy in the blue is a total G, using doors like you should. Yes, I've been saying to use the doors, but come on, man. Shutting the door on a young man and wife who clearly could have made it is such a dick move. Again though, this is likely to happen to you. You should expect that in an apocalypse, somebody will lock you outside with the zombies and watch you die. You will also probably die because people cannot answer simple life and death questions in a timely manner. That sliding door could still easily be accidentally opened by flailing zombies. Are you really gonna just not hold it shut just in case? Seems like a very risky move. Being 6 months pregnant is a huge disadvantage when being chased by zombies, to say the least. If there's a zombie outbreak, and you arrive at the station where the military is supposed to quarantine you, and nobody is waiting for you right when you get off the train, that is a bad sign. If the military was operational, they're not going to let you walk off the train and go through the station before they quarantine you. Considering this means the military either is not there or they're infected, if you decide to get off the train, you're probably gonna die. Despite how much of a scumbag the Stallion Express guy is, he is asking the right questions and using his brain. Everybody else is just blindly walking into the train station like fools. If your awareness and senses are not through the roof at this point, and you didn't pick up on a bloody helmet and riot shields strewn across the stairs, you're gonna get caught off guard and killed. If you chose the escalator where you cannot go in the opposite direction easily, you're dead. If you did not maintain enough space with the people around you, you're also going to die. The reason is you need an easy escape path. If you're in the middle of a bunch of panicking people, you're gonna get stuck or trampled. It's beyond me why you would intentionally get stuck in between groups of people on an escalator after the things that you saw. If you're clumsy or you have a tendency to be clumsy when stressed out, you'll probably stumble, trip on steps, fall, and die. Stay on your feet for Christ's sake. There's a very subtle issue here. Do you know what it is? His shoes on that floor. It's so seemingly irrelevant that it's hilarious. But those shoes have zero grip on that slippery tile floor. Nobody thinks of the shoes, but if you have heels or slippery dress shoes, you just can't move as quickly. God, this guy in blue is awesome. Going all Mike Tyson on these zombies. The only way this guy survived is through sheer plot armor. If you freeze like this, you will die. There are clearly zombies on the other side of that door, and you just opened it. More freezing, more dead. Oh, and the backwards crawl does absolutely nothing to help you. This lady was on her ass for almost half a minute with a zombie right in front of her. God, this guy is like Leonidas. But catching up to the train and having someone holding their arm out to you is super unlikely. Expect to die if this was you. Not immediately noticing the extremely fragile position you are in and whipping out your iPhone to make some calls. As horrific as leaving a loved one to die is, it's really the only way to survive in some situations. I would do what these guys did and try to save them, but it's basically suicide. They were bright enough to get some weapons and armor, but they still left a bunch of body parts exposed, like their hands, mouth, and arms. In knife fighting, you have to accept that you're gonna get cut. In zombie fighting, you also have to accept that blood will fly and that they will scratch and claw you. If any skin is exposed, like this man's biceps, you're gonna get infected. I mean, this guy is bare knuckle brawling the zombies. Punching people in the face with your bare hand is likely to break your hand or cut your hand and get you infected. You're basically putting your hand near the zombie's mouth when you punch them in the face. This is the other bad part about freezing up. Other people die. You should expect a lot of people to be like Oppum in Saving Private Ryan, not taking advantage of windows of opportunity like this. When you finally meet up with your loved ones, but you're still in danger, if you stand around mingling, saying, "I love you," "No, I love you more," and "I miss you," and "we should go on a picnic after all this is over," while there's a zombie 10 feet from you, you're gonna die. There is no time for that. The guy said that the tunnel would give them 2 minutes. I timed the tunnel, and it took them 3 minutes. If that tunnel was only 2 minutes long, they'd all be on top of the luggage carriers right above the zombies when the lights turned back on. Not seeing a soda can under your foot when trying to stealthily escape. Nobody helping to get the door shut. Huge mistake, just fleeing to the next door hoping somebody will open it and not securing the door behind you to buy yourself enough time. This type of panicky crap and dysfunction would lead to them all dying. I feel bad for this guy. You have one guy barely struggling to hold the door half shut and a handful of people standing around doing nothing, waiting for another person to open the next door. As angry as this makes me, again, this type of thing would get you killed in so many situations. The bystander effect is very real and very strong. In the zombie apocalypse, one mistake in where you place your hand and you're dead. Look, I know it's easy to paint this guy as an asshole, and he is, which means you need to be cautious of him, but like I said earlier, the infected will flee to the uninfected. This guy is honestly making a reasonable call. Tons of people in this movie were killed because of fleeing people that were bitten. Letting them in could easily be a fatal move, as the chance that they got scratched or bitten and were hiding it is very high. The craziness of a zombie outbreak, the stress, the loss of loved ones can make people do irrational things. This woman opening the door is further proof that being in a herd of humans exposes you to the dangers of their decisions. One PTSD-stricken person can be the death of an entire group of people. These people are also covered in blood. If you itch your eye or cut your blood-stained hand on something, you could become infected. Deciding to stop the train and flee on ground, like I said earlier, be cautious of assholes like this guy. In the apocalypse, a lot of people would 100% throw you to the zombies if they think it would benefit them. Similar to the high chances of dying from a car collision in the apocalypse, trains going the wrong way is equally a danger on the railroads. The scumbag strikes again. Honestly, unless you kill or exile people like this, they will just continue to get more people killed. All I know is that you have to distance yourself from people like this' actions as fast as possible. Holding and sobbing with an infected loved one, I can't imagine how hard it'd be to just leave them, but if you don't, you're dead. This is one of those situations where you put yourself at an insane risk to try to save someone that's already a goner. At the most, I would try to stay on the train and just hold my arm out, but not recognizing when a person is a goner or not is definitely another thing that could get you killed. You could find yourself in a situation where you have to sacrifice yourself or tons of people will die. It's not an easy call, as you could run, but being the noble chaps that you are, you may be forced to hold the zombies back while others escape. Cardio and speed. If you can't run fast or you're wearing the wrong shoes, you might miss the train. Getting off the train is a bad idea, again, but walking through the middle of tons of corpses strewn about is a super bad idea. You don't even know what's on the other side of those corpses, and if I had to guess, given all I'd been through, it'd probably be more zombies. In a zombie outbreak, it's important to remember that the military is not necessarily your friend. They will be extremely trigger happy and unwilling to take any chances. Only approach them if you can 100% be verified to not be a zombie. Otherwise, you'll probably catch a few bullets. In the next video, I'll talk about how to survive a Train to Busan. Thanks for watching.